My partner has a seasonal job in Boston, the worst place. Good luck to your partner. And the plan is to do locums to match a similar timeline, July to November.
You could take that person with you, right? The locums company is not going to pay for them, especially if you have to fly.
That's if you don't have a side piece at your other job.
You know what, Nee? People not going to write to you no more, Nee. You can't be talking about people cheating on locums gigs. What you doing at your locums gigs? Don't make me pop up on you.
Hey, listen, I speak freely because I don't do any of that stuff. So I'm just saying. Some people do. Like, why you... some people got locums wives.
Yeah.
Locums husbands. So bringing that person...
people got locums husbands.
Oh, snap. Yo, what's good, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Docs Outside the Box. Yo, it's your boy, Dr. Nee, joined by...
Dr. Renee.
Yo, so listen, guys, I just started realizing, like, a lot of times, like, we have been answering questions that you guys have been submitting through Instagram, through text messaging, whatever. And a lot of times what happens is I'm trying to encourage you guys more to to submit the questions because I always have all the answers. Like, we literally can figure out any situation that you have.
Really? Me?
So I wrote some stuff down and then I was trying to memorize it. Mm-hmm. Right. And I was like, who cares? This is Docs Outside the Box. You guys don't need to have everything perfect. And I always talk about just take a step forward. So I wrote some down to encourage you guys to, what do you call it?
So you're going to curse right in the first 5 minutes?
Yes, I am. It's my show.
Of the show. People listen to the show with their children in the car.
Okay, Alfred, beep those out then. All right. So here's my conversational podcast intro that I wrote out. Okay. Me and ChatGPT. You ready?
So then ChatGPT wrote it.
No, I wrote it too. Hey, y'all. Welcome to Docs Outside the Box! ! This is the place where we talk about real life beyond the white coat. Hyphen or dash. Finances, comma, career moves, comma, side hustles, comma, even the stuff they never taught us in med school, end quote. And listen, hyphen. We want to hear from you.
Where's there a hyphen there?
I don't know. That's what I put in there. Got a question about student loans? Question mark. Thinking about going locums? Question mark. Not sure if you're on the right path? Question mark. Send it in. It prompted me to get more hyped as we kept reading that up. Seriously, no question is too small or too big. If it's on your mind, chances are someone else is wondering the same thing. Just email us where should they email us at? Tell them. See, that's where you have to come in. Just email us go ahead.
They don't email us.
If they do, where do they email us at?
They don't email us. We don't do email.
Or hit us up on IG at
Docs Outside the Box.
You might even hear your question on a future episode. All right, let's get into it.
What happened to all the punctuations? Like, you started
I got tired of reading and stuff. But hey, guys, this is Docs Outside the Box. This is the place where we talk about real life beyond the white coat.
Extremely weird.
Finances, career moves, side hustles, even the stuff they never taught us in med school. And listen, we want to hear from you all. If you got a question about student loans, you got a question about locums, you got a question about relationships, you got a question about anything in life, and you just want to know if you're on the right path, uno, nuno, right here. I'm going to answer all your questions for you, okay? There's no question that's too small, too big. If it's on your mind, chances are someone else is wondering the same thing. Yo, there's so many ways you can hit us up. You can text us, go to the show notes, go to the descriptions, and it's all in there that you guys can reach us. And
we do want to hear from you. We do.
Speaking of such, we got a reply back from Dr. Muna.
It wasn't Mona. It was Muna.
If you guys don't remember Dr. Muna, she's the doc from, I think she's finishing her residency in psychiatry or something in New York. And she basically trying to like get off on her taxes and stuff.
Psychiatry?
I don't know, whatever it is. But she was trying to get off on her taxes and not pay much. And she was like, let me figure out a scheme to like live in New York, but then have my business in Wyoming. And then
Which Wyoming actually does have pretty good protections.
We peeped gang, Dr. Muna. We peeped you. But she writes back, Dr. Nee and Dr. Renee, thank you so much for the thoughtful message and for answering my question on Docs Outside the Box. I finally had the chance to listen, and I just wanted to say how helpful it was. You really helped me understand the importance of getting written consent before sharing my CV. Mm-hmm. And the way you broke down the pros and cons of setting up an LLC out of state gave me a lot more clarity. I also really appreciated you trying to pronounce my name. Just to confirm, it's pronounced Muna, spelled Moona. She didn't really put a pronunciation there, but I'm going to just assume that she's saying Muna, right?
Yeah, that's...
No, but you don't say spelled. She put spelled M-O.
Yeah, if you were to say
you have to put like you have to put the phonetic
No, you don't. You don't have to.
That's what the dictionaries do.
No, and
I don't know what you did in Brooklyn.
Nice little emoji.
I don't know what they do in Brooklyn, but in Queens,
Muna.
that's how they did it. Keep doing what you're doing. It truly makes a difference. Bet.
Thank you so much, Muna. We truly appreciate it. And yeah, it's a beautiful name.
Yeah,
Muna.
it's a very beautiful name.
Yeah.
And I just want to say, guys, listen, when you guys get your answers, your questions answered, or just tell other people about the show, because we really are trying hard. Like, we really enjoy doing this podcast, but also at the same time, we really enjoy the interaction. I love talking to you all. I love answering your questions, figuring it out. We may not have all the answers. I'm just joking around when I say I have all the answers, but
he think he know everything.
We got a lot of life experience, right? So it's super important and stuff. So so today is a Q&A day. This is what y'all say. So we got 2 questions that we want to answer.
Y'all got to say.
But I do want to say one quick thing. So before the last episode, I was joking. I was telling all those people I needed to add. So I was like, y'all need to start doing push-ups, right? Because we were talking about the one big, beautiful bill and how it's going to lower, student loans, the total amount of student loans.
It's actually 150,000. I think we had said 100,000.
No, it's 100,000. The bill is saying 100,000.
The bill says 100,000?
Yeah, right now it's 150 right now.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Right, so that possibly could get you to 2.5 years of grad school, possibly, right?
You need more than that to go through med school.
So I was joking before in the previous episode, and I was telling y'all need to do some push-ups, y'all need to do some planks, y'all need to go out and run, because y'all need to get into the military and get them scholarships going, right? But think about it, what if you're like in your 50s and you want to go to med school?
Yeah, that's a problem.
That's a problem, right? Because now you're like, oof.
Yeah, they won't take you.
They'll take you. Well, who won't take you? The military.
The military won't take you, right?
I don't know if they'll take you now.
Is there a cutoff to join the military?
I don't know.
Somebody tell us. Is there a cutoff?
I don't know.
Don't chat GPT it.
Yo, ChatGPT be having the answers.
Who needs docs outside the box when you got ChatGPT?
Listen, see, the key thing is you can use
ChatGPT is not as entertaining.
Is right. It's not, but that's what I'm saying. That's where our life comes in. When you throw in what I do, what you do, and then you throw in some like actual facts in there, bullshit and facts always is a lot of fun, right? What you think? That's what I think. Sprinkle in a little bit, I love it. All right. So real quick, the medical school scholarships, I looked it up real quick. Okay. There's the AMA Foundation Physicians of Tomorrow Scholarship. This is about $10,000, right? So this one is through the AMA Foundation. We'll put these in the show notes, but amafoundation.org. Mm-hmm. Then you got the Tylenol Future Care Scholarship.
Oh, they still have that scholarship.
That's about $5,000 to $10,000, right? You go to Tylenol.com/scholarship. You got the National Medical Fellowships. This is anywhere from, very minimal to up to $7K, maybe even plus. This is nmfonline.org. You got the Health Profession Scholarship Program that I was telling you all about. This is with the military. This is with the Army, the Navy, even the Air Force. All right. So you better get your weight up on this one. The Weight Code Investor, who we had on like 3 episodes ago, he's got his own scholarship. Mm-hmm. I don't know how much he's given out, but listen, you need to go and look where you can get some money. Mm-hmm. Right? There's Herbert W. Nickens Medical Student Scholarship, right? Mm-hmm. That's through the AAMC, right? That's up to like $5,000. You got the Indian Health Service Scholarship Program. They got some programs that are based specifically just at certain institutions. Johns Hopkins has one. University of Wisconsin has one. Drexel University. Bold.org. These are programs that are actually at like companies that do their stuff all through online, right? Bold.org, Going Merry, scholarships.com. There's a lot of stuff, guys. It's a lot of stuff.
Sherry Arnstein, I think, from the osteopathic.
Yeah. So there's before, because I was listening to the previous episode, because, I don't listen to I don't listen to old episodes, but this one I wanted to listen to. And I was like, man, I probably should have put more context and more nuance out to the scholarships that are out there. But those smaller scholarships, those are really hard to get. Whereas like the health profession scholarships that are with the military, the scholarships that are things that you have to exchange service for, usually those are a bit easier.
Yeah.
The ones at your school, depending on where your school is at, they really don't have that many funds. So that's the reason I brought that up. So.
Yeah.
Do you want to add anything on that before we jump into our first question?
No, I mean, I think, if you are going to med school right now, look into scholarships, not just health related scholarships, right? Because that's the other thing is that we, we try to sometimes create these opportunities only within that particular lane, right? But there is if you have a scholarship for being redheaded and left-handed, right? You should be looking up all of those scholarships because not every single scholarship has to be very specific to the industry or the profession that you're going into. So if I were you, I would actually make looking up scholarships almost like a second job. Take a day out of the week, every single week, to be able to look up scholarships and complete scholarships because, you guys are going to need them.
Well, we don't know if this bill is going to really go through because the two billionaires, quote unquote, are fighting about things right now. So we'll see. Elon and Trump.
I'd say, listen, don't take no chances.
So we'll see.
Don't take no chances.
We'll see. All right, let's jump into our first question. This is a locums question. So
we love locums.
We love locums. I think it's the panacea for everything.
No,
right?
It's not.
Measles. Locums.
Really? You should be running
COVID.
You should have been appointed. You should have definitely been appointed.
Well, I have to do coke and all that stuff before.
You got to do coke and be able to speak in an incoherent manner.
Yo, I swear to God,
before you get appointed to any sort of department.
I think
in the government.
I've learned so much from.
Well, I just want to let everybody know that measles is really not a problem in this country.
We be dissing people without actually name dropping. This is like a diss track.
You know who you are.
Docs Outside the Box is like a diss track from 2004, 2016, all the way up to now. It is a subtle diss track on people. You just have to know. What's the acronym?
Know who you are.
What's the acronym? IYK. YK. If you know, you know.
If you know, you know.
Yo, people be getting dissed on this show.
If you know, you know.
Shout out to Kendrick for teaching me how to diss people subtly and overtly. All right, let's do this question. Hello, Dr. Renee and Dr. Nee. I'm a third-year family med resident looking to do locums coming out of residency. I want to thank both for being the best source of information out there with honest and entertaining takes on the many layers of locums and healthcare in general. You helped transition the idea of locums into a more digestible / realistic option. I think for the most part, that's me, right? My partner has a seasonal job in Boston, and the plan is to do. What are you looking at me like that for?
Nah, like you like to take credit for like stuff that you don't really need to take credit for.
No, I just feel like I
Read
don't
the
think
question, Nee.
my partner has a seasonal.
See, ChatGPT can't do this.
My partner has a seasonal job in Boston. The worst place. Good luck to your partner. And the plan is to do locums to match a similar timeline, July to November. Oh, okay. Why July to November?
Because the partner
they have a
has
seasonal job. All right, guys. So this person's partner has a seasonal job that's probably going to end sometime in November. This person is looking to do locums from July to November.
Right, when they graduate to November.
There has been less jobs than advertised by the locums agencies at the start of the search or jobs with timelines not willing to wait for residency to finish. At what point, months, weeks, would you recommend considering a different location entirely, pursuing other options? Have there been times or how have you adjusted your plans if opportunities aren't as prevalent in the area you are looking for? A few other questions. Favorite websites to track payroll, expenses, deductions, mileage, etc. All right, we're going to get to that bottom part last. Oh, they also want to know thoughts on AI scribing and if it's the future. Short answer, yes. Mm-hmm. So basically, the issue for this person is they're trying to find a locums gig that'll allow them to work for a specific period of time, and it looks as though that person is trying to look for specifically in that area where their partner is.
Yes.
You want to start, or you want me to start?
No, you go ahead and start. I'd like to hear what you have to say, especially since you have so many wonderful things to say about Boston.
Okay. The third-year family medicine resident that's writing this. So there's these things that if you look up in the sky, they look like birds, right? And they're made of iron. They have engines on the side, right? Called planes.
Plane. Plane. Not plane. Plane.
You know what, Nee? You cannot insult.
I'm not insulting. I'm just saying.
You cannot insult the person who's asking the question.
And then there's these horses, right? They don't have tails, but they're made of metal, right? It may say Amtrak on it, right? goes from like Boston down to like New York, maybe even lower than that, right? To DC, right?
You know, ain't nobody gonna write to you no more.
And they could even
canceled.
And they could even stop at airplanes, right?
Airports.
Like, what train goes to JFK?
I don't know.
There's trains that go to LaGuardia.
The train to the plane.
All right, listen. Basically, what I'm saying is this. Listen, I get what you're saying, and I'm just joking around. But look, it could be hard to find like a specific locums job that is going to be reasonable to the timeline that you have, right? Like, depending on where you are, right? You're just going to have to learn to be a little bit more flexible with, going someplace else for a little bit. So Renee was in Atlanta. I did not find any locums. So, this is 10 years ago or 15 years ago. Me and Renee were dating. We became serious. We got engaged, but she was in Atlanta. I was doing locums in Idaho, Minnesota, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania. And I looked in Atlanta. I looked in Georgia. There really wasn't anything for trauma surgery in that area. But, I knew that over the next several months, we're going to be getting married. We're going to be living together. So I traveled. And I traveled to those different places, and I'd be gone for a week. I'd be gone for 2 weeks. But then when I came back home, I would come back and split time between my parents' house or spending time with Renee. Long story short is sometimes you're going to have to just sacrifice, for a little bit, sacrifice and have some short-term pain to have the long-term win, which would be, a consistent period of time that you're going to be with your significant other once you guys find the job or jobs that both fit you guys. So that's why, I'm joking around and saying that more than likely you're going to have to travel. Also know that when you're doing locums, when you're being an independent contractor, like, you kind of run the show. So if there's places that are like, hey, like, we can't wait, then, you're just gonna have to wait till I finish residency. That's it. But there are a ton of places that I know for a fact that they make plans for people graduating a year in advance, sometimes even 2 years in advance. And depending on if you grew up in that neighborhood, if you, like, for example, like I've been to small places, small hospitals where, like, the local prodigy grew up. Right. And if there's no other medical schools or there aren't any medical schools there, they will make a space for that person to come back in 3 years, 5 years.
Yes.
Yeah, they're going to train, 100 miles away, but they are coming back. And we've already signed this type of agreement with them where
I actually did something like that, right? Where I kept the space for somebody like that when I was working in Idaho. I worked locums while I was in Idaho, and I was actually literally holding a space for someone who was going to be coming back to this extremely small community. It was a community of like 15,000 people. And so they had an OBGYN, who was getting ready to graduate from residency a year later. And so I came in about 10 months before she graduated, and they held a space. So you might be able to find something like that, something similar. But I agree with you. I think that, if it's seasonal, July to November, understand that that's a very short period of time, and that you can travel, and that doing locums between July and November, right? Doing locums between July and November doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to be gone from July to November.
Right.
It means that you can run the show. You can say, I want to work these days between July and November, right? So you could say, I want to work 4 days a week, between July and November. Or I want to take call, on 2 weekends per month in July and November, depending, again, on the need. The other thing that I think people don't realize is, and I don't know what your partner's schedule is or how, what the logistics is, you could bring that person with you, right? Especially if that person has some time off. Let's say that person has weekends off during this seasonal job that they have, and you decide, okay, well, I'm going to work weekends. You could take that person with you, right? The locums company is not going to pay for them, especially if you have to fly.
That's if you don't have a side piece at your other job.
You know what, Nee? People not going to write to you no more, Nee. You can't be talking about people cheating on locums gigs. What you doing at your locums gigs? Don't make me pop up on you.
Listen, I speak freely because I don't do any of that stuff. So I'm just saying, some people do. Like, why you?
Listen, we're going to go live one of these days on IG. Going to pop up on Dr. D be talking about, oh, you got a work wife? You got a work wife?
That's what I was getting to.
You got a work wife?
Some people got locums wives.
Yeah. Oh!
Locums husbands. So bringing that person.
People got locums husbands.
Oh, snap. Anyway.
Okay, we're going to go live on IG one of these days. Okay.
Oh, one thing that I forgot to mention also is, so you brought up a good point. So one thing to think about is this.
What?
We always tell people, particularly in the course that we have, we tell people, hey, you actually shouldn't just have one locums job. You should have like maybe 2, 3, sometimes even 4. It doesn't mean that you're going to be going to all 4 places at the same time in the same month. No, you're just basically juggling them, right? So particularly if, let's say, for example, you're trying to get into Boston, and I'll be very honest with you, like when you're in big cities, when you're in major cities, the locums opportunities in major cities usually are limited because a lot of people want to do there, right? Want to be there. Like it's like trying to do locums in Miami. Imagine trying to do locums in Miami or locums in Los Angeles or locums in New York City or locums in Boston.
Chicago.
Like, where there's an overabundance of medical professionals there.
Who are willing to take less, by the way, in order just to live in that city. So they're willing to take a pay cut just so that they could say, I live in New York City.
So although you don't have to, so the reason I'm saying is, maybe if you want to be closer to home, you may have to negotiate. You may have to take a little bit less to be in Boston for a little bit, but then have another gig that is you do like half of the other month or in other months where you can get that money back that you're losing by working in Boston, right? So let's say you have another job that takes you to the Midwest. It pays very well. You kind of incorporate that in so that you can be home. And I'll like doing locums and then going back to your same house and seeing your significant other. That's amazing, right? Especially if there's no change.
If you can do it, yeah.
You don't have to get into a suit. You don't have to have a suitcase. You can come home and have home cooking and everything. It's a great experience. But there are times where you may have to just say, you know what, at this point, I don't have complete leverage. Let me sweeten the pot for them and say, okay, well, rather than charge you $100 an hour, I'll charge you, $80 an hour.
These are not real numbers.
These are not real numbers, right?
Please do not take $80 an hour.
There's going to be some.
No daggone locums.
There's going to be some family medicine docs who are like, what do you...
Yeah, don't do that.
Especially if you do family medicine and you do ER, you could be making mad.
Yes.
Loot,
that was the other thing I was going to say, right? Family medicine, you have a lot of options.
Loot.
Okay.
Mad loot.
You want to say it 3 more times?
Mad loot.
1.
Mad loot.
2.
Mad loot.
3. Okay. So as a family medicine resident, you have a lot of options. So you can do family med, right? You could do urgent care.
Yes.
You can do ER.
Yes.
Like I would look at all of those opportunities potentially. The other thing is, so you live in Boston. The question is, are there more remote parts of that area where, maybe you're a little bit further away from home, but you're not so far that you actually have to travel by plane or by train. You could literally just drive there, maybe an hour, 2 hours away, and be able to do your shift or do whatever work you're going to do for a certain amount of time, and then be able to come home, and, go back whenever it is that you're scheduled to go back. What are you doing?
Yeah, I'm trying to reach out to Dr. Love. I want to see what he does because he's ER. I want to see if he's going to pick up.
But we recording.
I know we're recording.
How do you know he's going to pick up?
Because I just know. Let me see.
But he's not picking up.
Well, let's see if he's going to record or if he's going to pick up.
He's not going to pick up. What?
He might be on shift.
He might be working.
I think he does night shift, though.
But then he's sleeping, Nee.
All right, Dr. Love, you missed out on your opportunity.
Oh, my Lord, Nee. Leave that man alone.
Oh. All right, because I wanted to get his perspective.
Sexy voicemail.
Thank you for calling.
Yo, people, hey, real quick, another question for y'all. People have messages on the, oh, hold on. Here we go. Hold on.
He's calling?
Hold on. Shh. Dr. Love, you are on Docs Outside the Box podcast. We are absolutely recording. Please curb your voice. What's going on? What's good?
Nothing much. I didn't think we want to do this right now. Oh, my God.
Yo, you got to stay ready and be ready. Aren't you ER? I'm saying.
I am, y'all, but
This
your
is
boy got
ridiculous.
meetings from today, but medical director got to go to places.
Hey, yo, so we got a question that we're trying to answer, yo. So we got a family medicine resident who is going to be doing locums. As someone who does primarily ER, are you still seeing family medicine doctors who are doing ER?
Yes, but I have found that they are not at the larger, big old, quaternary, tertiary hospitals, more rural places, but they are around, yeah.
Yeah, that's
And
what we were saying.
And the ones that did the fellowship are greenlit in more places. So there are a couple of guys who work at my shop. They're family medicine trained, but they did the ER fellowship afterwards, and they function just like a ER residency doc.
All right. So real quick, I know you work as an independent contractor, but it's kind of like a hybrid independent contracting kind of employed type thing.
Yeah.
So in terms of tracking payroll, expenses, deductions, mileage, what type of software are you using for that?
Oh, great question. So for the mileage, I use an app. Got the idea after listening to y'all. I'll give y'all credit. I use Stride for mine. So I just get in the car, hit the track button, I drive, and when I get to work, I hit end. And then at the end of the year, it aggregates all the miles and gives you something for the taxes. So I do that. And then for business expenses,
I know damn well I know you be putting in some extra miles in there. Like, let me go to Burger King real quick.
it's kind of from work. Starbucks counts as work. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to get a drink from work. I'm caffeinating myself. That counts too.
Oh Lord.
All right.
It counts.
All right, keep
For
going.
business expenses, I keep it simple. Just if it's on the Amex, it's probably a business expense. So I have an Amex business account, and then everything on there is basically business as far as I can do it.
Yo, you using black card or what? You rolling like that?
Oh, no, platinum.
Platinum.
I wish on that black.
Okay.
I wish on that black card status, but Amex Business Platinum. That's the way to go. If anyone needs a link, holler at me. I could definitely use a couple extra points.
We gonna put your link in the show notes.
Hey, look, if I get some people off of it, that referral bonus is nice. And,
Nice.
He trying to
I
be
could
put.
definitely buy
He trying to be
some
get put on by Docs Outside the Box. Man.
We'll do that for him since we did not pay him to appear.
Listen, man, this is all right. So, what about like payroll? How do you do that? How do you get? Because we talked about this. Yeah, talk about that.
So I'm a little simpler. I think y'all are technically 100% more complex than me. I just got myself. So I have ADP does my payroll. For those who don't know, it's a company out there that does payroll, kind of specialize in it. I have everything set up there. I enter myself as an employee. I enter the cost I'm supposed to pay myself. And then ADP deducts that from the business account and then pays myself. So my payroll is just to me. So because I am a salaried employee for my company, it's set. So I don't check in like hours in and hours out or anything else like that. It's just set for the year. So I don't think about anything else from there really.
Okay.
It's kind of simple on my end.
Yeah.
So and you can clarify this real quick. This will be the last question. When you get paid, when monies comes to you from the hospital, is that coming to Dr. Love or is that coming to
ADP.
who is that coming to?
Great question. So whenever I get paid from the company I work for, it goes to Omega PC, the company.
Yeah.
It goes to that account. It's a separate account that I have from my personal account. It goes there. And then ADP goes there and sends Love Anani his salary from that account. So everything, every hour I work in this building, every shift I work, gets put to Omega PC.
Got it. Okay. All right, cool. So we appreciate that. Dr. Renee, you want to add anything at all?
No, this was really impromptu.
Yeah, that's how we do. That's how we do.
I'm walking to a meeting.
That's how we do, man.
Let me answer.
That's how we do, man. That's how we do. Man, just so people know that this is real. This is spontaneous.
Okay.
Dr. Love, we appreciate you, man. Thank you.
Thanks, love.
Peace.
Bye.
All right, yo. So
I can't believe you just called this man.
that's how we do.
Ugh.
And we're going to do more of that, guys.
Don't put your numbers in here. He gonna call you.
Yo, even the people who if you send us a text message, I'm going to call you. The text questions.
You're gonna go. Well, yeah, because we have their numbers after
No, I'm
after
teasing.
they.
I won't do
text.
that to you guys. I won't.
No, I might call. Hey, what y'all doing?
All right.
You want to come watch our kids?
So for payroll and expenses, so yes, we use one card to pay for everything on business. It's a business card, right? So when Dr. Renee goes and she works and she gets a hotel, it's on a business card.
Yeah.
When she goes and buys food, any type of food, it's on the same business card.
Yeah.
And then same thing for me. We don't use our personal card for Nathan. Nothing. All right.
Nada.
It's just our personal card is for taking care of our kids, you know what, or whatever. Business is on business, personal is on personal. So for payroll and expenses, so for payroll, we use something called Gusto. It's gusto.com. It's a really popular website that a lot of people use, particularly small businesses use. ADP, that's another type of thing where you can do payroll. That's what Dr. Love uses. For expenses, like I said, we use a card, but to actually track expenses so that you can do some projections like, okay, well, if you're spending this much on food or you're spending this much on travel, or even how do you know like that you got paid by the company, right? Like you have to have a ledger of like what's coming in and what's coming out. We use QuickBooks for that, right? So for payroll is Gusto. For expenses and tracking expenses, we use QuickBooks. For deductions, that's part of the expenses part, right? So if you're using your business card to pay for internet, or if you're using your business card to pay for gas or for flights, that's where the combination of the business card as well as QuickBooks comes in. Now, for mileage, he uses Stride. I might try that. But we use Mile IQ. Mile IQ, basically, what these apps are, they're very easy to find. All there is you download it, you put it on your phone, and then it just tracks everywhere you go. So just be careful who you're going to, right? And then at the end
to your Locums work wife.
Right. So at the end of the week, or even at the same day,
reality TV.
Once the drive starts, it stops, it'll categorize. Excuse me. You have an opportunity to categorize. Is this a personal side piece move, or is this like a move to like mail some stuff to UPS? You can make it business or you can make it personal. What you looking at me for?
Yeah,
I talk with a free chest.
Who want to go live with me when I go pop up on Dr. Nee? Who want to go live?
Free chest. I got nothing, but some people do that. Thoughts on AI scribing and if it is the future? Absolutely, guys.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Like I'm not saying like AI scribing is like boom, like, but it's basically another iteration of the dictaphone, right? Or dictation. Like it's just something that is listening to you and then it's taking information. And if it can make it easier, I would say go for it.
Have you ever used Otter AI for Zoom?
Yeah.
That's what it is. It's just gonna be like Otter. Like if you use Zoom and you've used Otter AI, it's going to be the exact same thing, except that particular AI is going to be used very specifically to say, what was the chief complaint? What was, the subjective? What was the objective? Blah, 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 blah. That's it. I mean, it's really not for me, it's a no-brainer.
Yeah, just make sure you double check everything.
Yeah,
Remember,
course.
guys, like this is still, all of this stuff
Records.
is all this is all beta. Right? All of this AI stuff is beta.
Yeah.
It's not perfect. And you're putting it into an actual medical record that someone is going to make decisions about. Treatments are going to be based off of this.
Yep. History is going to come from this.
Life and death type decisions are going to be made for it. So just make sure you double check it. And then I would put on the bottom that this was scribed using AI and stuff like that. So people know that, hey, there could be possibly mistakes in here. So that's what I would do.
Yeah, but they don't care.
They don't care. So
they don't care. You can put whatever
basically,
you want.
Just be careful. But I double check everything, and sometimes even triple check and just make sure, does this make sense?
Kind of like using templates now, right? Like,
because I don't like typing.
Use a template.
I don't like typing anymore. I type for a long period of time, like when I'm typing notes, and like I start to get pain here, right? Which is consistent with carpal tunnel. So it's like, what's the point? So I use the dictaphone or the microphone, and eventually, I know Renee is already using it, but some AI scribing is really dope. So you didn't leave a name, but listen, this was a great question.
Yeah, it was. They didn't leave a name?
No, I didn't see a name, but we do wish you good luck, man. We wish you good luck. It's going to work out for you. Trust me. It's going to work out for you. Finding
Keep
a job.
Keep us posted.
Yeah.
That's why, and leave your name.
Yeah.
Keep us posted with a name. Me Anonymous. All right, guys. Thanks so much for that question. That was a great, great question. So in our next segment, we're going to be talking about whether or not 24/7 call is sustainable for a week per month. So make sure you join us in the next segment. We'll see you there.